Well, folks, with the Whitfield Report in its 5th season, and me starting my 14th year of podcasting in 2021, I figured now would be as good a time as any to start a Patreon page for the podcast. And I know everyone these days has a Patreon page who is a podcaster, but let me tell you what you're going to get if you decide to join the Whitfield Report Patreon. At the $1 level, you'll simply be contributing. That'll simply be a way of saying thank you, and I appreciate it, but that's that. However, at the $3 level on up, you're going to be getting access to an exclusive podcast that I'm hoping to do weekly called the Savage Express Podcast. And on that podcast, exclusive to Patreon subscribers and supporters, I'll be covering music and movies and pop culture and personally and anecdotes in ways that I can't cover on YouTube or traditional podcast platforms. I'm hoping to do this every week. I might not, but it'll certainly be a longer form podcast for those types of topics if you're interested in that sort of thing. And I also might be re-releasing some episodes of the Whitfield Analysis, my old podcast, re-releasing the back catalog, as it were, digging out some old video clips that I've had in archive for years, and posting all of that exclusively to the Patreon site for you guys. It's going to be a good time, and there are a couple of different tiers you can join in at. I understand if you can't join the Patreon, but if you're able to financially support the show and you want to help out, joining the Patreon would be the best way to do that. So I encourage you to go to patreon.com/Whitfield Report and sign up on one of the tiers today. And again, folks, I want to thank you for supporting the podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast. And hopefully, I can look forward to your financial contribution, which I deeply appreciate as well. God bless, folks, and God, freedom, legacy in that order.
Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report. Thursday edition of the program. Welcome to everyone who is joining me live here on YouTube or is listening to this on the podcast feed in the past, present, future hour. I want to thank you all so very much for joining me tonight. Decided to do the show live, impromptu, just because why not? It is sometimes easier to, it's sometimes easier to go live, rather than pre-recording and then, having to deal with all that stuff. But we're here anyway, and happy to be here. Contact info as usual. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @somebody_NDC, hashtag Whitfield Report. Follow me on Gab, Parler, and Minds at the Sam Whitfield, facebook.com/The Whitfield Report. thesamwhitfield.com is my website address. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon. Leave a good review, please. You know the deal. And streamlabs.com/The Whitfield Report. And if you'd like to contribute monthly to the program, patreon.com/The Whitfield Report. Shout out to Bruce City, Sawson, and Fat Keck Boy for being the top donators, the top contributors monthly. I really appreciate you guys supporting me, and I appreciate the chat as well. Speaking of, Fat Keck Boy asked if this is pre-recorded. No, it is not, Fat Keck Boy. I am here. I am in the flesh, so to speak. Although I'm on your monitor. Action account says, "Oh, Billy Boy." Yes, we are talking about Billy Boy, freckled face, whatever people are calling him these days. Okie Dean says, "It might be iffy. Sam had too many beers with Jesus yesterday." Well, yes, it was St. Paddy's Day, and I was going to do a St. Paddy's Day stream, but alas... yeah, I think in hindsight, it's probably good that I didn't do a St. Paddy's Day stream. But we might do one tomorrow evening. Who knows? It's Friday, tomorrow, so who knows what'll happen. Anyway, El Jefe is in the chat. Good day to you, El Jefe. Dang dang. Scorpio says, Sam. Shizu says, hello. So, hello to the chat. As I mentioned, this is kind of an impromptu stream, so I imagine that people will pop in throughout the stream. But I want to go ahead and cover the top story. As most of you guys know, Thursdays are usually when we cover pop culture and entertainment related things here on the podcast, which lately it's been critiquing cancel culture as of late. I haven't actually been doing too many actual reviews of stuff lately, but that may or may not change, or we might just keep talking cancel culture on Cancel Thursday. But anyway, so folks, I don't want to say I told you so, but back when Gina Carano got fired from Disney Star Wars, I was saying that there may be, Carano may be an isolated incident, that is fair. But I have a sneaking suspicion that she wouldn't be the last one to face the ire of the SJW cancel culture mob. And surely enough, the SJW mob, specifically the feminist mob, is now going after old Billy Burr, old freckled face, or whatever he calls himself now. Why? Because he's, he made a politically incorrect joke, even though, shocker, he's a stand-up comedian, and that's what he's supposed to do. So this happened on Sunday, and then the mob went after him on Sunday. He was, I guess he was presented some award for, Best Comedy Album of the Year at the Grammys. I don't know, because I don't really watch the Grammys or any of these award shows. But he made, I guess he made a joke, which isn't allowed in 2021. So, yeah, let's see what this whole controversial thing is about, shall we? I really am genuinely curious. Oh yes, and then we'll get into the whole Geeks and Gamers controversy as well, because that is new today as well. But anyway, so this is supposedly the edgy thing that Bill Burr said at the Grammy Awards last weekend, and let's take a listen here.
Yeah. Was I the only one who wanted to kill himself during that piano solo? I bought a suit for this. I thought I was going to be on TV. I'm such a moron. I am losing so much money right now. All right, shout out to all the rock stars that I wanted to meet tonight who are watching at home instead. I'm talking to you, Don Dawkin. All right? What, I'm old. That was my first concert. All right, here are the next categories. Up for bids.
For Best Latin Rock.
All right, and the Grammy goes to Fito Paez.
I don't care.
W.
For Best Regional Mexican Music Album, including Tejano.
I can't say this name. Natalie what? All right. And the
So wait, I've just got to jump in here real quick. So they brought in the Irish ginger guy from Boston, from fucking Boston, to do the Latino all of the Mexican albums. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. And okay, I sure as hell hope this isn't what he got in trouble for. It doesn't seem like it, but yeah. I suppose E Scorpio should be the officiator next year at the New York City St. Patty's Day parade, though, at this rate.
winner, the Grammy goes to Natalia Lafourcade. Oh, wait. Dude, I will accept on behalf of her. If I butchered her name, I'm sorry. Natalie, you won. Natalia.
For Best Tropical Latin Album.
All right. Hey, how many feminists are like going nuts? So why is this cis white male doing all this Latino stuff? And the Grammy goes to Grupo Niche. Hey, Niche.
Oh, okay. So I guess that was, let me back that up like 10 seconds or whenever. Hold on.
Tropical Latin Album.
All right. Hey, how many feminists are like going nuts? So why is this cis white male doing all this Latino stuff? And the Grammy goes to Grupo Niche. Hey, Niche.
For Best or
Okay, so that's it. So the feminist mob was getting upset that he presented the Latino awards. I mean, yeah, it's a little strange, but it's I don't think that really that doesn't justify the comments on Twitter that I was seeing from people saying and they were saying some really like weird and I mean just downright heinous shit about Bill Burr, such as that he's like a racist and that he's married to and that even though he's married to a black woman, he's a that he's still a racist because I guess apparently according to one moron on Twitter, I guess let me try and find some of these tweets. I thought I had them pulled up here. Apparently I don't though. So, at least not in this window, so hang on. Apparently though, they were saying stuff like they were saying like, yeah, Bill Burr is married to a black woman, and but he's still racist, and I bet he I bet he has to rape her just to get her to have sex or something like that. A couple of these other blue checkmark weirdos were saying stuff like, well, let me try and find some of these if they're still here. But yeah, Apex actually. Let me go into the belly of the beast itself. Okay. Bill. Oh, okay. This is lovely. Bill Burr, transphobic. Let's. Okay, so this is hilarious. Some of these weirdos were saying yeah, so I guess now some of these tweets aren't necessarily there, but it is hilarious because well, let me just show you here, guys, and for those who are listening on audio, I'll read some of these out here, but yeah, people are. Oh, here was one of the ones that got big publicity. This was kind of one of the tweets that set off this whole shitstorm from this Clyburn Griffin guy on Twitter, who, again, this guy is a verified, he has a verified Twitter profile, like he has a check mark in the whole 9 yards, right? And yet, does anyone know who the fuck Clyburn Griffin is? Seriously. Yeah, this was the tweet I was looking for. Well, I am not suggesting Bill Burr is a racist. A white man having a non-white wife can sometimes be a sign of racism. So you shouldn't assume someone isn't racist just because they own a minority sex servant. They may very well have one because they're racist. Okay, how is that not racist, Mr. Clyburn Griffin? To assume that, I mean, it's ironic because you're calling Bill Burr a racist, but you're also calling his wife a minority sex slave. So that's lovely. Right there. And again, this guy has a check mark, a blue check mark, and then I guess a white check mark if you're in dark mode on Twitter. But still, this guy is verified, and supposedly Twitter isn't a place for hate. In fact, let me do a check here live on the program. Okay. Did I not? Okay, obviously, I did not spell that right. Yeah, see, this is how you know it's, Clayburn Griffin, my mistake. My eyes are totally not going, folks. It's just, see. Yeah, chat's probably making fun of me right now. Okay. Okay, let's see what this guy is, about. Oh, yeah. So, there were tweets like this, and then there were other tweets from people saying that he should be fired from The Mandalorian and other stuff like that. Now you might say, okay, well, this is just a small group of Twitter trolls, whatever. What's the big deal? I'm telling you, folks, it is these small time. It's these small time, Twitter people like this who are the same ones who scream at Gina Carano, and call her the N word, the new N word, and say that she needed to be kicked off The Mandalorian. Let's see. Yeah, and I bet you anything, give it time, more of these SJW weirdos will say that he needs to be kicked from The Mandalorian. He'll be the next one to get canned. Here's the thing though. I think if Bill Burr gets canned from The Mandalorian, he's not really going to give too much of a crap. He has said on his podcast before that he's actually not a Star Wars fan. So the fact that they wanted to cast him in that show was kind of surprising. But I think he enjoys it. I don't think he's married to Lucasfilm or anything like that. But mark my words. If all it takes is one of these, weirdo blue checkmark people to start screaming racism and, sexism and whataboutism, and then the whole mob starts raging, cancel so and so. And yeah, that's how cancel culture begins and everything. So good for you, Bill. I guess let me see. There are a few other parts of the Grammys clip that I guess people got their panties in a bunch about. Best orchestral performance.
Orchestral performance. The nominees are
And the Grammy goes to Gustavo Dudamel, conducting the Los Angeles Philharmonic. I will be accepting the Grammy on behalf of Gustavo.
for Best Opera Recording. The nominees are
Wait, so you're having Bill Burr do classical music as well? That doesn't make sense. Since when do gingers listen to classical music? Either. But anyway, so yeah, I guess the mob is now coming for old Billy Burr, old Freckles there. So yeah, we will stay tuned and see what happens. Now the good news is for every single one of these tweets of people being triggered by Bill Burr, it seems like people are making fun of equally. Okay, let's see what Bounding into Comics has to say about this. By the way, I do like Bounding into Comics there. And yeah, this is a live show, folks. I decided to do this on the fly, so we're just seeing what happens today. Twitter crazies attack Bill Burr and his wife for Grammy's joke making fun of feminists. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Yep, we've already seen the clips, so let's see if are any of these tweets are any of these tweets going to show up or no? Okay. So here's a compilation of some of them. If I can open that, okay. Looks like I'll have to open this up on Twitter then. Okay. Okay. So here's a compilation. Yeah, I know this is what I saw. And hey, some of these same people I remember seeing some of these tweets from the same people who were saying to cancel Gina Carano. So one of them is Bill Burr. Hey, motherfucker. Yeah, you fucking racist. Keep one eye open at all time. That's lovely. Okay. Bill Burr is the perfect example of why white men deserve to be kept in cages. Racist piece of shit. Racist. Get off the stage, white man. Yeah, that's not racist at all. Bill Burr is not funny. What he said wasn't funny. He said something triggering. Well, well, bitch, that's, you obviously don't understand comedy then. Praying Bill Burr loses his entire career, but he's so white, I doubt that will happen. And let's see. Yeah, this lady here who's saying he's so white, she looks pretty white herself, actually. Let's see. Bill Burr, asshole white comedian, is presenting awards, insulting people, and being triggering. Yeah, I don't know if you really understand this, but that's Bill's job. That's literally the job of comedians, is to make jokes and mock shit. So, but again, and it's funny to laugh at these people, but again, these are the same people who you get them in a gaggle, and they start, canceling people, and they're allowed. They are a minority, but they're a loud minority, and companies like Disney and basically all of the Hollywood studios love to cave to these types of people. Now that's not to say that there aren't people on the right who don't do the same thing. There certainly are, and there are certainly people who LARP as right wingers, Vox Day and Owen Benjamin, who LARP as right wingers, and then that gives freaks like these ammunition. To go after not even right wingers but moderate people. But yeah. So like I said, we will stay tuned and apprised of this situation here. But in the meantime, it does. These are the people that you kind of have to watch out for, because these are the people who are starting to yell, "Cancel Bill Burr." And, if they get loud enough, it'll be interesting to see if, if Disney or Netflix or any of the other companies acquiesce and cancel them. I hope not. I hope that Disney doesn't write his character off, the Mandalorian. They might, but they might be done with his character anyway, so I don't really. Now, I do know that he does have, some project going on with Netflix, so I hope they keep him on, because I do like F is for Family, which, these same types of people complain about F is for Family and the fact that Bill Burr's character, Frank, beats his kids on the show, or I guess, gives them the belt. But hey, that's that's how my grandparents were with my parents in the 70s when they were growing up. All right, let us catch up on the chats here real quick. See what people are saying. Chuck Boris, secret racist man. Yeah, that's we may need a parody song of that. Chuck, who knows? I heard this is just a CGI. Sam, yeah, people have been saying that since the beginning of the stream, because I usually don't do a live show of the stream, but I certainly am here. I am not I'm not what the hell is that guy, guys? Oh, who's the yeah, see, this is how you know I'm having a mind blank today. I can't remember the I am not here. That guy from the WWE, not The Rock, but the other guy. But yeah, unlike I am actually here, believe it or not. So, let's see. So what mentioned he had a black girlfriend once. So let's see. Deep fake racist. Sam what feels fake. Well, I mean, I guess I guess, you know, believe what you will. I'm either here or I'm a deep fake. I guess that's the way some things are going. Let's see. No, not The Undertaker, not Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, it'll pop up. It'll come to me right as the show ends. That's how it'll go. But anyway, I'll think of it right as the show's ending, most likely. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. What else do we have on the docket? Okay, so also kind of in the fandom realm of news and whatnot today. So this happened last night, but for those of you who follow you know, nerd and pop culture stuff as I do, some of you guys might be familiar with the YouTube channel Geeks and Gamers. They were like one of the first YouTube channels to say that The Last Jedi was basically shit, and that social justice and the left had you know, completely taken over Star Wars completely, which, you know, we know that that's true now, but they were one of the first ones to like call it out. And I wouldn't really even say that they're conservative either. They're just, it's not really even that they're, you know, right or left leaning. They're just anti-political correctness, and you know, they recognize Andrew Breitbart's whole concept of politics being downstream from pop culture. So they've called that type of stuff out on their channel before, over the past couple of years. So so apparently about a week or so ago there was an article or I want to even say like an article that was published by some blue hair blogger claiming that that Geeks and Gamers was alt-right or something to that effect. They tried to say that like they were connected to Richard Spencer and whatnot, even though they weren't. So you know that. So apparently that article, that fake article on them, somehow got to Warner Brothers, and the other night, I guess there was a Geeks and Gamers was actually throwing like a charity stream of sorts to fight suicide they were doing like a suicide prevention fundraiser on their channel, and Zack Snyder, who is famous director, 300, Watchmen, and now the Snyder Cut, the Justice League movie. He went on the charity stream that they were doing, and apparently he got wind of this and of this article and decided to cover his ass just so that no one in the social justice community would feel upset. So here's a quick clip from that stream. I can pull it up here. Okay. Okay, so this is this was during a fundraising event for suicide prevention, and rather than come on and tell everyone thank you for all of the donations, thank you for being supportive, Zack Snyder, this guy in the very bottom lower right, for those of you who are watching this is what Zack Snyder had to say, coming on immediately.
How you doing? How's everybody doing? Good. Just a quick thing before we get started. I know that on our donation page, we still have the Geeks and Gamers logo. I just want to say that I really we talked about this, and we're really not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers as far as I'm concerned, and I really just want to make that clear.
So he said on the donation page for the website for the stream that the Geeks and Gamers logo was still on there, which apparently it wasn't supposed to be. But I think that's a separate issue. That's the issue between him and someone behind the scenes doing the website stuff. Here's where I think people conflated the two different statements into one because they didn't take into account this pause before he started going on to the statement about hate.
I want to make that clear. And I also want to just say, in light of recent events.
So between this statement and the last one, there's that pause in between where he says, and I also just want to say, in light of recent events, which is the statement that he was probably told to give by HBO or WB.
In light of recent events, I think we really, if Justice League teaches us anything, it's about coming together, and there's no room for hate. And I just think that it's important. It's an important message. And of course, as the father of the Asian children, it really hits close to home for me. And I just really want to put that out there that we all, there's no room for hate. And that's just what it's about.
Okay, now, the problem here, and this is kind of the story, right? So, again, Geeks and Gamers is a YouTube channel that covers pop culture and has talked about kind of how the social justice kind of agenda has plagued comic book culture, nerd culture, and everything else for the past several years, right? But they don't really talk politics at all or say anything political. The only things that they've really said are pretty obvious things, that Gina Carano isn't a racist, and that she was unjustly fired by Lucasfilm, and also that the only reason why Star Wars chose to go with Rey and turn her into a Skywalker was because of the whole Mary Sue the Force's feminist agenda that Star Wars has had, right? But they haven't really said anything like controversial or alt-right. And, Shouting at Clouds in the chat earlier asked, what is alt-right? Well, Shouting at Clouds, at this point, the alt-right seems to be anyone who doesn't agree with political correctness at all. That's just the way things are kind of going now. And it's, it doesn't really mean anything to those of us who are, informed. But basically, the alt-right, what that Zack Snyder did, whether this was intentional or not, is he basically conflated Geeks and Gamers, which is this, which is just a YouTube channel, that may have some conservative personalities on it, with the alt-right neo-Nazi movement. They were also, the Twitter mob has also said things like, Geeks and Gamers harassed, some, I guess they were saying that they were harassing, John Boyega or something, or no, it was Kelly Marie Tran, the chick who played the Asian pilot in the latest Star Wars trilogy of movies. I guess Rose or whatever her character's name was. And they've tried to say that, any criticism of Rey or any criticism of the Star Wars sequel trilogy is tantamount to racism or sexism or bigotry. Right? And how stupid is that, folks? I mean, just because you point out the flaws in a movie does not a racist one make. So yeah, this is where we're at. Now even, YouTube channels are now even the Twitter mobs are coming after nerdy, YouTube channels. That's what's going on. And it is sad and it's unfortunate, but it's the way things are going. So at what point are and what's really unfortunate is that Warner Brothers more or less seem to either feed Zack Snyder this line, or they just went along with it. So in a lot of these same people who subscribe to Geeks and Gamers, guess what, Zach? They're the ones who are watching your movies. They're the ones who are who are usually watching Star Wars. Not so much anymore. But just like everything else the far radical left touches, right? They've alienated half the country politically. They've split us into two categories politically, and now they've done the same thing with popular culture too. There are the wholesome fans, in air quotes, which don't know the lore of comic books, science fiction, or anything. And then there are there's the toxic, there's the toxic, white cis male fandom, which let's be honest, folks. Yes, there are exceptions of women who like science fiction, who like popular culture stuff, who like horror, who like comic book stuff. Looking at you, Bruce City. But the vast majority of all of these audience are cis white males. I don't even like using the term cis white, just, normal dudes. That's who the audience for a lot of this stuff is. And all these, social justice warriors who are invading the, the writing rooms and whatnot in Hollywood, they're bankrupting these studios because people are getting sick of the social justice culture in Hollywood. They don't want to have anything to do with it. And to be honest, folks, I don't really blame them. I don't blame fans for wanting to leave. Yeah, Geeks and Gamers are great. What's the bloody problem? Well, yeah, Elsa, Geeks and Gamers is great. The problem is now you have a you have a big time director like Zack Snyder who basically just lumped them in with white supremacists like Richard Spencer. And, maybe indirectly, but that's kind of what the charge has been. And so now, they're going to have to deal with the normal population who doesn't read, of thinking that they're Nazis. It's unfortunate, but that's what's happening. And yeah, Geeks and Gamers is fantastic. So is Gary from Nerdrotic. So is the Critical Drinker. I love the Critical Drinker Drinker's channel, but he's been lumped in with this category as well. So it's it's nonsense. This is what the mob does. You write one article and then you get director's panties in a waist, and then you're accused of being a Nazi. Anyway, well, folks, that'll do it for tonight. Like I said, we will keep an eye on all this stuff. Now, tomorrow night, speaking of Marvel stuff, so WandaVision wrapped up last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago now is when they wrapped up. And I'll probably do like a video review of that at some point that I'll record if I can. And then the new, Captain America, I guess the Falcon and Winter Soldier thing is coming on Disney Plus tomorrow. Now, like I said, I did cancel my Disney Plus subscription because of the Gina Carano thing, so I have that until the end of the year. In the meantime, I am going to see what this new Captain America spin-off series is all about. I don't have too high expectations for it, but I will be watching that tomorrow, probably. But tomorrow night once it drops, and then I'll do a review of it maybe on Saturday, maybe not. But anyway, we'll just keep our eyes on it and see what happens. So anyway, folks, that'll do it for tonight's show. I will be back on Saturday evening with Apex Gamma for another edition of the Whitfield Report. Real quick here, let me check and see if I have any donations on stream, and apparently I do not. So any final comments here? Let's see. Okay, Bruce City Synth says, "Hey Eliza, all bitches get on her face at once." I agree with that statement, Bruce City. Yeah, she definitely deserves all the bitches on her face, and and the guys need to the guys need to give some loving to Eliza too. Eliza in her very sexy Aussie accent. Everyone just needs to love on Eliza. Everyone also needs to give some loving to Bruce City as well. Yeah, everyone get on Eliza's face. Do it, or else you'll have to it's either Eliza's face or my rape machine. Your choice, guys. But anyway. Real quick shout out before I end the program. I do want to give a shout out to my good buddy Jason Veely, who just finished I believe his third week of podcasting. For those of you who don't know, Jason Veely is the host of the Jason Veely program, which is a podcast. He's not doing live YouTube videos yet, but he does a podcast, and then he also does a series of skits on TikTok called Living with a Liberal. And yes, folks, I know it's TikTok. We've had discussions about that before, him and I, but I used to be on a podcast network with him. Back when we were both in high school. He's a year older than me, but he's kind of one of the first ones that I guess gave me my big start in podcasting. So I'm thankful to him for that, and he took a hiatus from podcasting, but now he's back. So again, that is the Jason Veely program. And actually, let me drop a link in the chat for his podcast that is on Spotify, because he definitely deserves it. I can find it here. All right. Alrighty, folks. So like I said, here is the link to Jason's podcast. For those of you in the chat, you guys are welcome. Again, check him out if you guys are so inclined to, and give his podcast a listen. He's a great friend, and I'm hoping to have him on the show soon. So yeah, be sure to check him out. He's a great guy, and he deserves the support of this audience at the very least. Alright, folks, so that will do it for tonight's show. I will be back Saturday night with the Gamma. And from all of us here at NGC Studios, have a good night. God bless. God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy in that order, and I will see you on the next episode of the Whitfield Report.
Thanks for listening to The Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www.thesamwhitfield.com and support Sam on Patreon at patreon.com/Whitfield Report. Until next time, God bless, God save this great nation, and God, freedom, legacy, in that order.